Back-to-back 50-point games for Bernard King.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a move by Jordan!
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win!
When they talk about Big Bird in the state of Indiana, this is not what they have in mind.
There's someone that's very important to both of us.
What's rugged and handsome, green and white, and sports number 33?
Larry Joe Bird.
Larry Joe Bird.
When I was a young child, I would pray to a Larry Joe Bird poster. I would pray to it. I would say, Larry, let me get some buckets tonight.
Look at that pass. Oh, what a show. Oh, what a show. Forget about it. Slap pass to Archibald. Bird on the cut. Beautiful. Five, and Bird has the basketball. Look out. 2 seconds on the clock, and timeout used by the Sonics.
Possibly the greatest of all time. Today, we're looking at the legendary Larry Bird.
Bird wound up playing his college ball at Indiana State, leading the Sycamores to the NCAA Final in 1979, losing to Michigan State and Magic Johnson. That was the start of a personal rivalry that would help propel the sport to its highest level of popularity.
The Boston Celtics select Larry Bird.
A sensation in college basketball.
He sure can score fast, can he? Right? His creativity.
He can really shoot
We're
it.
talking about a guy that leads and galvanizes troops.
It's sitting pretty right now if you're the Boston Celtics.
Bird had been drafted by Boston in 1978 as a junior eligible. His impact on the Celtics was immediate and palpable. Bird averaged 21 points and 10 rebounds a game that season and was voted Rookie of the Year. He had turned the franchise around. His clutch play would become the stuff of which, well, legends are made.
28 seconds. Bird. Slap pass to Archibald.
Ahead to Henderson. The Bird on the cut. Beautiful.
But it was his unselfish all-around play which helped elevate his team that made Bird the player he was.
As a rookie, he took the Celtics to the conference finals.
I came in to the league. You know, I played a small town. I did very well.
I was wondering about the Mount Rushmore of impactful players. Like they left their mark.
He was MVP 3 years in a row while only missing 3 regular season games and averaging 26 points, 10 rebounds, and almost 7 assists per game.
Let me ask you this.
Best player you played against?
Best guy I played against might have been, Larry Bird.
Bird and Dr. J.
Do you think when you look at all of the great celebration on Julius Erving that somewhere down the line they're going to be doing that with you, and you have a special feeling about that in that respect?
Well, I really don't look at that right now. I just enjoy while I'm here and try to play as well as I possibly can. And down the road, if something happens, that's fine. But right now, I'm just interested in what's going on here.
Who's the greatest basketball player of all time?
In terms of skills, Larry Bird could do anything.
Some of his accomplishments have gone unnoticed.
He was one of the first stretch fours.
Right. Right. We sit
I
there.
mean, we talk about what's going on today. You talk about a guy who was 9, 6'10", playing the 4, shooting threes. That was unheard of back then.
What I try to do, just come out and get good rotation on the ball, get the backspin, try to get a good release, and I always focus my eyes on the rim.
Bird was, like you said, one of the greatest of all time.
Made the three-pointers, and he had assists and rebounded, steals. He was always at the right place at the right time.
Going against a guy with a competitive edge like you've never seen, and a guy that you couldn't make mistakes against because he would find a way to hurt you.
And not only that, let's give Larry Bird profound respect.
Larry has such a great mind for the game. This muscle here, the one between his ears.
He is arguably the most clutch player in NBA history.
10 seconds. 5, and Bird has the basketball. Look out. 2 seconds on the clock.
Larry Bird was the baddest son of a gun on the planet.
When I played, Larry Bird was the only one I feared. A lot of black guys always ask me, could Larry Bird really play that good? I said, man, Larry Bird was so good, it's frightening.
I love Larry so much. I will never, ever, ever tire of hearing Larry Bird stories.
Bird was the only one that really kind of, in his soft-spoken way, when we talk about guys talking trash. Hey, Rook, good to see you. Hey, great college career. I'm going to catch the ball. I'm going to pump fake. You're going to reach for it. You're going to get fouled. 2 tweets, you're going to have a seat. Lo and behold, Dan, he catches the ball. He pump fakes. I go for it. I reach. First foul. I come down court. Scott Skiles kicks me the ball. I shoot a 3. In your face, Larry Legend. Yes, I'm feeling good, Dan. He catches the ball again, catches it. My dumb self reaches for it again. Tweet, go have a seat. I see you second quarter, Rook. So that's how Larry Bird christened me into the NBA.
My first year, I'm excited. I'm playing against Larry Bird. I go shake his hand. He wouldn't shake my hand. Back then, guys just...
He wouldn't shake your hand?
Wouldn't shake my hand. He would look at me and just nod, right? And I was like, well, maybe he's just getting into the game.
Disguise can hide the identity of the Celtics' inspirational leader.
What was the best trash talk Bird ever said to you?
And so the first time I'm gone, he said, you don't even belong in this league. He shoots a 3. Wham!
Larry Bird in the corner for 3, and that's how we start this one.
I said, okay. Next time he comes down, he said, I don't know why they got you guarding me. He hits another 3.
Speaking of a hero, Larry Bird now with 13 points. He's the game-high scorer.
And having one of the greatest players to ever lace a pair of shoes up in Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Bird working one-on-one against Dominique. Larry Bird, and the basket counts, and there's a foul as well.
Now, Dominique Wilkins has quite a responsibility for this ball club.
They quickly double Bird, and what a shot!
Just steps through the double team. Great play.
He had an attitude and the heart of a lion.
Rebound, Dominique with 50 seconds to go, and a steal. Bird.
Now here's just a heads-up play by Larry Bird. Now another problem was that Webb did not make himself available.
In a half-court situation, he was evil. I mean, you couldn't beat him.
Hastings picked up the foul, his first. Bird. Bullseye for Larry Bird. He has 15 points. Roberts moves away from the screen, and Bird hits another shot. Now the regulars are back in there. Akers and 4 starters, and Bird hits again. Bird fakes Rivers on the 3 and finds Danny Ainge with a left-handed shot inside.
They got to give some help. Bird is just too hot.
He's going one-on-one against Livingston and burns him again. 21 points.
You don't see anybody raising a fist or clapping their hands. They're just out there playing.
Bird from Johnson.
Will limit the Celtics to 1 shot.
Harris gets through. Good passing inside by the Celtics. Bird. Bird with a fake pass and a one-hander at the baseline. Bird. Simple play, 25 for Larry Bird.
Being a Boston Celtic must sometimes feel like being on the greatest roller coaster ride on earth. You would think their play could get no better. And then you realize they have that glory days attitude to go along with the talent.
We're very cocky, we're very confident, and we know that we can win basketball games.
It's the attitude that we have that we should never lose, and it's somewhat of an egotistical attitude, somewhat of an arrogant attitude, but it's the type of attitude that we have, and that we think we should win every game.
Well, no doubt about it, they are loose and confident. They've added the banner, picked up the rings, but they are no fools. This is not a time to coast. This is a time to keep everything in perspective. The Celtic roller coaster ride went to new heights when they drafted Len Bias, and his death brought them down again. It was devastating. Now the task before KC and his regulars is to put all the past behind them, good and bad, and go to work on another championship.
remember as a rookie, he came in, he walked by our bench at the Salt Palace and said, "I feel like 43 tonight." And he came out, he scored 43 in the third quarter and checked himself out with a 20-point victory, and I was fairly impressed with that one.
So he just picks a random number. I feel like 43, and he says it to the bench.
Yeah. It was fairly impressive, especially when he backed it up.
Yeah, Bird was ruthless because he would attack your mental.
Bird is a psychologically assassin.
In what way, though, man? You say that. How?
He was a basketball genius. He'd be a step ahead.
I would make like 3 shots in a row, and Bird would like run by you and say, "Oh, wow, first quarter. Let's see if you can do that in the fourth." Or he'd say stuff like that to make you think,
How can a person jump this high and out-rebound you? How can a person just move you and make you a deficiency?
Bird kills you. Another defensive stop. A must here for the Hawks. Johnson gets it into Bird, and Wilkins is there. Bird comes free. You are watching what greatness is all about.
When we practice, he would be running around Boston Garden while we was practicing.
That was psychological.
There's something about those banners in the rafters, 19 of them Celtic-related. They are the only things that will give you goosebumps in the Garden. It certainly won't be the air conditioning. There isn't any.
Bird didn't talk trash to you,
Oh, my God. Bird talked trash to everybody.
But didn't he? Did he get to a point where he had respect for you?
I always tell this story about Larry Bird. I remember him, he was cursing under his breath. And I asked him, I said, "Larry, what's going on with you?" He says, "You guys are being disrespectful to me." And I says, "What are you talking about?" He says, "You guys are putting a white guy on me." That's disrespectful.
Most intense rivalries ever after you see Mark Ivoroni and Larry Bird go at it.
He says, "Who's guarding me?" I says, "Craig Elo." He says, "Why you got that white boy on me?"
It was funny, the first time that I played in my rookie year, I guarded Larry Bird, and it took me about 10 minutes to realize I should be probably guarding him instead of staring at him. And he came down, it was funny, he came down one time, and Mark West was the center on our team, and Larry looked at me, and then he looked at Mark, and he said, "Mark, I'm going to go down, I'm going to come off the screen. I'm going to come off the screen, I'm going to catch it right there, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to shoot it in the rookie's face, and then I'm going to run down the floor." And that's exactly what he did. And I'm sitting there, that just happened.
Larry Bird, one more impossible shot after the other.
Don't put no white boy on me.
You see Larry asked if he's going to be thrown out. He was told yes. He decided he's going to get his licks in before he left.
Wait, who's the white guy you put on him?
I can't remember who it was. I just started laughing. I had no comeback. He says, "It's disrespectful when y'all put a white guy on me." And I'm sitting there like, I'm laughing in the middle of a game.
But did he talk to you, or you weren't
He
good
talked
enough?
through me. He never addressed me.
I love that.
Yeah,
because you're a rookie.
He wouldn't talk.
I could imagine.
He had no time for me. He just talked right through me to Mark West and told him what he's going to, like, I wasn't even there.
And did Mark West going?
Mark was like, "All right,
okay,
man.
all right.
You probably will."
Hey,
Good luck.
Mark, I'm going to take the rookie down. I'm going to do it. I'm going to turn and shoot a jumper in his face.
Exactly.
Then
what
I'm going to
he
run
did.
down the floor.
Yeah.
And then he did.
He did it.
Well,
There was nothing I could do about it.
Back in the Bird. The ball away is gone.
And you know his fingers was all broke.
Right.
Bird takes the pop. It's gone. Now cuts free. Putting Boston ahead.
The walk-off with your hand up, I mean, come on, coach.
For the money.
Larry Bird was the truth.
legend.
He knew it when he let it go and was headed for the winner's circle.
You missed Bird by a couple of years, I think, didn't you? 2 years?
I missed him by 1 year. The year that I came in, he had just retired, I think, a year and a half. But I got to play against him in the Dream Team that last year of his healthy basketball. And I'm telling you, like, we wanted to going into there. I wanted to see Barkley. He was my favorite player. Jordan and Bird. It was those three by far, heads and shoulders above the rest. You know, Magic as well. But we wanted to see Bird and to be able to practice with him, see how he worked out, see how he shot, see the junk that he talked constantly. I mean, it was one of the best moments in your life because you are with guys and pillars of the game and changed it like that.
Yeah, but you got Jordan who talks, you got Barkley who talks, and then you got Bird who talks. Who talked the most when you played against the Dream Team?
Why do you think my generation grew up talking so much, guys? They taught us how to do it. We used to watch all those blooper tapes and everything else. And I don't know who talked the most. The best was my man Rodney Rogers, strong, fast, quick, athletic, and Bird just set him up in a corner. Someone drives to the corner, Stockton passed out to Bird, and here you see Rodney Rogers take a full sprint. And I'm talking about, you know how Zion blocked that shot a couple weeks ago? Yeah. That's where where Rodney Rogers came from. Except, unlike the young kid that shot the shot, in the middle of him being in the midair, Bird says, "Welcome to the parachute club, rookie," and watches him go by him, shoots the ball, and like Curry does what Bird did because he shot it and just kept walking down, like shaking his head like these dumb youngsters. They'll never get it.
The 60-point game Bird had.
You had to bring up that one, huh?
Well,
Bird on the drive. The floater is good. Down low for Bird with position. He fakes it and shoots it good. Bird out of the left corner. The bomb is good. Off the pick comes Bird for the bomb. Got it again. Off to Bird for the open 20-footer. It's good. On the left wing, Wedman. Down low, Bird. He gets away from the steal. The layup is good. Posted up, Bird. Takes the jumper and hits it. Bird. Shoots the jumper right side, good. Bird posted left. Takes the jumper and hits it again. Bird who feels it and takes it and drills it again. Bird will try another jumper.
Damn.
Third. Bird for the bomb. Got it again. 2-on-1 with Bird. Bird's layup is good. Bird with 8 seconds. Bird on the drive. The runner is good again.
He had got into a groove early in the game. When you get a guy in that zone, and when a great player is in the zone, there's no defense that you can design to stop him.
Bird the fall away, tough shot, and he drills it again. He stubbed his toe. Right corner, Bird bomb, good. They open the right side. Bird the fall away. He drills it again.
Your teammates were cheering on the bench for him. Did you what happened? Did you punch him after the game? What'd you do?
They got fined.
They got fined?
They want him to keep scoring too. Bird takes the jumper and hits it again.
No, what could you say? I mean, he scored 60 on us.
I never knew that.
Very hefty fines
Really?
after that. Because,
did you know they were doing that when it was happening?
Oh, when I saw it, I said, hey, you don't do that for the opposing team. But Bird was so hot.
Bird, 14 seconds, he got fouled. He hit the shot.
And fell into our bench, and they high-fived and they cheered on our bench.
Yeah.
And I made sure that them guys got fined because you don't do that.
In a game that our own team was cheering for him, so after that happens, there's not a lot you can say.
It's still the best video that we ever show because and we talked about this when I saw you in LA. When you had those guys on the bench and they were falling off the bench, Antoine Carr and Cliff Levingston, and poor Mike Fratello, he's trying to coach, and, Bird's killing you guys, and Antoine Carr and Cliff Levingston are falling off the bench like, oh, my God, what are we witnessing here?
The Celtics are ahead of the Atlanta Hawks, 84-82. We'll return to the Garden after this message and a word from your local station.
easier for him to bring the ball up.
Bird now cuts free. With Bird again pulling up, putting Boston ahead. Bird attempting to break free, stays with it, and the foul is called. The continuation for Larry Bird.
And wheel into the defense. That's banged and lets it fly lefty.
I don't know if I've been to another basketball game where two guys got red hot at the same time. You've been to games where they get hot.
Right.
That was different.
22 lead changes. The Celtics once were up by 7. Dominique hits a 3. Lead to Bird off the fake. Improves his position. And the Celtics are up again. 95-93. Wilkins ties it for Atlanta. Bird cuts free. Left hands it for the field goal. That puts Mason Jones and the Celtics back on top. 101-99.
This is a type of game of who's going to blink first.
Wilkins responds, and he has tied it at 101. 38 points for Wilkins.
In a half-court situation, he was evil. I mean, you couldn't beat him.
It's Bird's turn, and the Celtics have the lead. 103-101, and both benches are enjoying what they're watching with these two teams. And then gets it back. And Dominique high off the glass. 40 points for Wilkins, and the game is tied at 103.
We had some epic battles.
Comes up with a shot, and the Celtics lead it. And it's Bird. Now he goes into double team. And the duel continues. Wilkins responds. It's Bird's turn. Comes up with a shot, and the Celtics lead it.
Larry Bird was the truth.
Johnson gets it into Bird, and Wilkins is there. Bird comes free. Bird for the layup.
He had an attitude and the heart of a lion.
Another defensive stop. A must here for the Hawks. Johnson gets it into Bird, and Wilkins is there. Bird comes free. You are watching what greatness is all about. You are watching what greatness is all about.
Bird was a bad somebody.
In the fourth period, he has shown you why he's a future Hall of Famer. 20 points this quarter. He is 9 of 10.
Larry Joe Bird.
Guaranteed a win in number 7. Saying the Hawks blew their chance by losing number 6. Now he'll take it for the 2 first and hope to draw the foul. Taps it back in, and they stay off it.
And having one of the greatest players to ever lace a pair of shoes up in Larry Bird.
Yeah.
Was fouled, and the Atlanta Hawk bench can't believe it. The Boston Celtics will win this series. 46 points this afternoon. The miss, and that's it.
Yeah, Bird said after that game.
Yeah.
As we walking off the court, he said, we both deserve to win this game. Unfortunately, one of us got to go home. He said, you're a hell of a player.
You were there. You were in the theater every single night. Do you have a favorite Bird trash talk story?
Oh my gosh! He have a play out of bounds play. I'm taking it out, and Larry says I'm going to bust off the play, and I'm just going to come out and I'm going to shoot a 3. And I'm like, we're down 2. I'm like, no, don't do that. I'm like, let's shoot a 2, please. Go to the hole, try to get fouled. Let's just get into overtime, see if we can't win this game. And Larry says, no, I'm just going to bust a 3 on him. I'm like, oh, my gosh. So he tells the Phoenix bench, tells the coaches, yeah, I'm just fixing to bust a 3 on you guys and just go home. I'm tired of this. And he gets the ball, jumps out, busts the play, comes out, gets the ball at the slot, shoots the ball, as the ball's in the air, he kind of turns towards the Phoenix bench and yells, "Told you so!" He stops running to the locker room, and it went in, and I just started laughing. I was like, "Oh man." You know, it's just one of those ones where you just kind of, he has such supreme confidence, and it was just, but that's the one when you were back in and Larry went in and said, well, I won the game in the first 3 quarters, then I lost it in the third quarter, or the fourth quarter, excuse me. Then I won it at the end. He goes, my record tonight is 2-1. We all just kind of laughed about it.
5 times he led the Celtics to the NBA Finals. 3 times they won, beating Houston in Bird's second season, 1981, besting the Lakers in 84, and the Rockets again in 86.
Well, we've heard that before, but this roller coaster ride is intent on stopping in the Garden with one more banner.
The league's most valuable player for the past 3 seasons from the Boston Celtics, 6'9", Larry Bird.
Won 3 straight MVPs in the league with the Showtime Lakers and Michael Jordan and the Bad Boys present.
Only 2 other players won the regular season MVP award 3 consecutive times, as Bird did, Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain.
After winning the World Championship, after being the MVP of the playoffs, MVP of the league, what an honor that is, MVP of the league.
It sure is. You know, after going through a tough season like you do, then at the end you start bringing in awards. It's really a great feeling because you know you accomplished something.
Yeah. Do you have a trophy case somewhere that you keep some of the things you cherish most?
Well, I got some at home and some at my grandma's house, some at my friend's house, some at my house, so I sort of just spread them out and everybody gets to see them.
Never had a losing month during the regular season when Larry Bird was in their lineup. He was that kind of player, that kind of influence. Quiet, classy is how some describe the hick from French Lick.
He became the founding member of the 50-40-90 club, and he did it again the following season. Not even Kobe, LeBron, or Jordan accomplished that. Not even once.
Coincidentally, you were the player of the month in the NBA in December, averaging 27 points a game, 52% field goals, the best ever, 90% of your free throws, getting 10 boards a game, 6 assists, or maybe 7, and also just leading the league in three-point shots percentage-wise.
Larry was the guy that helped validate me. My career needed to be refreshed, along with the vets I had on the team like Reggie Miller, Mark Jackson, Chris Mullin. When Larry Bird talks to the media, it was like, I'm going to turn Jalen into the player that's going to live up to his potential.
Yep.
I cut that out and put that on the refrigerator, bro. Again, Larry Bird helped revitalize me to the point where now I'm eating all of the steak and lobster that I ever want.
When you could play, first of all, when Larry Bird sat up there and said he didn't see color, I want everybody to know it was truly believable in the black community. Everybody looked it up. Oh, we believe that because Larry Bird didn't care. You could either play or you couldn't.
Is it fair for me to believe that even black fans, after a while, were perfectly willing to acknowledge that Larry Bird was the baddest white boy ever to shoot a basketball?
No question. It's not even yes. No doubt.
Oh, that's easy.
Okay.
Oh, that's easy. I mean, I can tell you right now, Larry Bird could walk, literally in his heyday, he could walk into any black neighborhood in America. And they'd be like, hey, that's Larry Bird. Come on over, you know, because he could ball. He could ball.
Now, let's bring you up to date on the Isiah Thomas controversy. There have been a couple of developments.
Welcome to Haters, the show where I help you stand up against all the haters in your life.
Let's take you back and show you the comment in the press. He said that Larry Bird is a very good player and exceptional talent, but if he were black, he would be just another good guy.
Jesus Christ.
Today, Isiah arrived in L.A. Larry Bird appeared side by side at a news conference, and Bird had this comment at the session.
If Isiah tells me that it was a joking matter, I think we should leave it at that.
What the fuck is going on?
Well, Isiah has joined me live. Isiah, thanks for being here tonight. Tell me about the context that statement was made. How was it made? What was the situation?
Because they are haters, okay?
Well, we were in the locker room after the 7th game of the Eastern Conference Finals, and we had lost the basketball game. And
Rodman was talking about Bird.
This is Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, Dennis Rodman was talking about Bird.
As you guys know, I call him, if it's a black guy, he's an average person, average player, right?
Man, haters don't appreciate shit.
Larry Bird cooked this nigga Rodman so bad. He cooked the nigga so bad. The nigga Rodman said, only reason Bird get that much hype is because he white.
Now that man right there, I'd hate to fight. She wears underwear with dick holes in them.
But it took me maybe 2 or 3 years to get to know Larry Bird's, his moves and how he tries to sucker-bait you and do certain things. But he used to give me my rookie year, he used to call me out, boy. He used to call me out like I was like a dog.
And that my skirt wasn't big enough for my puss.
Okay, girl, please. Jesus Christ. You know what that sound like to me? That sound like that nigga Rodman was so salty he got cooked by Bird that he was like, hey man, only reason y'all boosting him is because he white.
Bitch ass nigga.
What you want? What you want? What you want? Go ahead.
Isiah, your comments about racial stereotypes indicate that you think the media plays racial favorites, if you will.
And I said Larry Bird is a very, very good basketball player. He's an exceptional talent. And I left it at that. Then I said very sarcastically and very jokingly that I'd have to agree with Rodman that if he was black, he'd be just another good guy.
Jesus Christ.
Because you're looking at this person and you can't do what they're doing.
We do have a copy of that tape. I want to remind everybody it is audio tape.
He's a very, very good basketball player. I think he's an exceptional talent. But I'd have to agree with Rodman. If he was black, he'd be just another good guy.
Jesus Christ.
That's some hater shit.
Isiah, tell me about the laugh. Now, is that a sarcastic laugh, or is that a laugh of someone who's saying, you know exactly what I mean?
I hate you. I hate you. I don't even know you.
No, it's a very sarcastic laugh. I think anybody who knows me well understands that I tease a lot. And that was the mistake that I made, Brent. I was talking with a reporter who didn't know Isiah, so evidently he or she believed that the statement that I made was true. But I was joking, and, like I say, anybody who knows me knows that I tease.
Hating ass nigga.
Racial statements become very serious. We have heard what happened to the former Dodger general manager, Al Campanis. How do you respond to those who have said publicly and privately that you are nothing more than the other side of Al Campanis, racism coming from the other direction?
Well, see, the difference between that is that Al Campanis was serious, and I was only joking.
You still sticking with that?
You did not mean anything. You don't think that a white player like Larry Bird perhaps gets a lot of publicity because he's white and the blacks do not?
No, that's not true. Larry gets all the credit that he deserves simply because he worked hard to get it, and he's an excellent basketball player.
You are a hater.
All right, now how about those who would say that you did not have a good series? You threw the ball away, unfortunately, at the end of Game 5, and this was a smokescreen, a cover-up for the fact that Isiah Thomas did not play well for the Detroit Pistons. How would you respond to that?
Well, I did play well against the Celtics. I made a mistake in throwing the basketball away. But to say that this is a smokescreen, I feel worse about this than actually losing the series.
It's a lying piece of shit.
My family's hurt. Larry's family's hurt. It was just a big misunderstanding, and it's...
Did you apologize to Larry when you called him and when you talked to him privately here today in Los Angeles?
Yes, I apologize because, as I said before, Larry said that he didn't think it was serious. He said he didn't think it was a big deal, and he said he didn't worry about it, so why should anybody else?
Maybe you are just jealous because I can do this.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Now get the fuck out of here.
Kiss my ass, you rotten.
So I run over, we look at the bench, no timeout, nothing. So I run over and I grab the ball, playing every second. And that's what the Celtics taught us, to play every second. I throw it up, Bird sneaks in. I didn't even see him. That joker caught the ball, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, he going out of bounds.
Now that's a steal by Bird.
I must have stood there for about 5 seconds because everything was going in slow motion in my mind, right? They are so in tune, they are so in sync. I mean, it wasn't no high five. It was a love thing, you know, like they hugged and embraced. And then it's a strange moment. I'm like, damn, how you doing that? And I'm walking to the huddle, and they were our mentors. We studied them. They taught us everything. This is probably one of the most incredible plays that's ever happened against me and that probably I've ever witnessed. We try to take the ball out of bounds or whatever. Larry walks by and he goes, they were great teachers. Not only were they great teachers, right? But they also, after they beat you, then they would school you.
Yeah, you know, the other thing I laugh about too is, remember Anthony Mason, just the kind of the point forward, powered guy, just big, strong guy. We're playing. He's in New Jersey now. They call him up and from the D League or the CBA or whatever it was called back then. And he's sitting out there, and man, that guy's like, you know, he's got, you know, muscles everywhere. So before the game, Larry looks at him. He goes, "Hey, Kevin." I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Look at this guy, man." And he's standing there. He goes, "Look at all those muscles." And, you know, Anthony Mason is just standing there kind of posing, and then Larry looks at him and goes, "Yeah, all those muscles aren't going to help you tonight." He said, "I'm going to bust you up." And Larry would shoot the ball and yell muscles when he was shooting it. And I was...
What's Larry really like? Like, what's his personality? Because we hear a lot of different stories.
Well, Larry is like the commercial E.F. Hutton. When he talks, people listen. It's not a waste of words.
Someone said, Larry, that you're like a James Bond movie. You know, you don't know what's going to happen. You're against all odds, and then when the credits roll, you're going to be triumphant at the end.
The Indiana Pacers select Chuck Person of all.
Offensive versatility often separates the good scorers from the great ones. A strong drive encourages a defense to sag toward the basket. In turn, this respect gives the scorer more freedom to fire up a jump shot. With a solid inside and outside game, Chuck Person has parlayed offensive versatility to be the best he can be.
People all used to always talking about that he can't jump, he can't do this, he can't do that. And, you know, a lot of my friends was like that, you know. So, I got to the league. I called all my friends back up. I said, you know, all that trash that you were talking, you need to squash all that. This man is great. He can, whatever you were saying for a man who can't jump, he's demolishing everybody.
Come down to this fifth and deciding game between the Celtics and the Pacers. It's Gamble on Person, fires, yes. Person hears it from the crowd as he unleashes Chuck Person.
And Shrimp, who does it inside and out.
And a strong move by Person, who's hit 3 out of 4. Now Shrimp putting the move on third. Person, the 3. Yes! Bird on a quick release. He has 8. Bird with the step. He has 10.
A good sign is Bird making a strong offensive move, trying to complete it, taking it to the front of the rim, rather than just staying perimeter.
Person was hit, yes, and it counts.
Keep their eyes and ears open to pick up someone. How about Golden State, the kid named Ellie right now?
Larry Bird with 12. Chuck Person with a 23-point first game in a loss. He had that unconscious performance in game 2. Bird wide open. He has 14 in this first half. Bird had a knocked away by Saunders. Parrish on the recovery. Bird is hurt. Brown is down, and he's hurt.
What effort by Larry Bird.
And Larry Bird is headed directly to the locker room for treatment and receives a standing ovation.
He went right in. They won't allow us in, and they won't come out to tell us what the situation is. We're standing by, but he's in there with a team position, and no one has come out yet.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the game. We go to the second quarter, about 5 minutes to go until halftime, and watch this fall taken by Larry Bird. His head literally dribbles off the parquet floor, possible fracture of his right cheekbone. They're taking x-rays now after the game. We don't know for sure.
And the game is tied.
Parquet floor in the Garden. He's certainly got one of the worst you could ever expect.
And here comes Larry Bird.
But he returned early in the third quarter, delighting the Boston Garden crowd, which roared its approval in a standing ovation.
Throughout this timeout, they have been standing and cheering. Person from downtown. What a shot by Chuck Person on Friday night. Bird on the rebound, pops it out to Lewis. Puts the lead on Person. In the third, as Darren Smith is called for his 4th. Chuck Thomas, who played briefly for the Boston Celtics. Reggie Miller's shot rebounded by Bird, who whips it down for Bird. Bird with the step on Shrimp. Yes!
Just when the crowd seems to feel it has a chance to yell a little bit, they come right back at you.
Bird on the reverse, and it counts.
Also, by taking it strong to the basket, showing them how it's to be done.
3-point play for Bird. Bird beating Smith, beating Patera.
Finish the play with a dunk. Be sure. Don't give it a chance to roll out. Slam it down.
At 6'6", giving away 3 inches to Bird, who's trying to post him up through the foul. Yes! And it counts!
When you're coaching this league long enough, you say to yourself, how many times does he drive that spike?
Off the turnover. Bird fires for Brown. And Brown hits.
Just what Larry needs, another shot to the right side of the face. Steve Brown knows where to look. Let me find Larry, something good will happen for us.
A dramatic return by Bird in the third. And I get the feeling we're watching a piece of that history unfold. Larry Bird with 27 today, and he has done it in dramatic fashion. Bird ahead of the field. Parrish with the head. Plus the foul.
Now, but Larry Bird is answering the challenge put forth to him by Chuck Person and the Indiana Pacers.
Indiana 96. 4 minutes gone by in the fourth.
Person stepping up with the blind screen right in the area that Larry Bird doesn't need in the middle of the back.
Larry Bird receiving another standing ovation. There's Person for 3. Yes! Chuck Person hitting on his 4th from downtown.
Both feet in the front court.
The shot clock turned off. Person for 3, looking to win it. Rebounded by Shaw. 6 and 6/10 seconds remaining.
Tried to hit the home run in the bottom of the 9th inning. Went for the whole thing on the one shot.
He missed the big one earlier. 4-point lead. No timeouts left. Person fired and hits a three-pointer. Chuck Person fired that one from area code range from downtown.
That one was past downtown.
And here's Schrapp for the Flame, and it is all over.
Great players did play great today in Boston. Unbelievable 5th game between the Celtics and the Pacers. 124 to 121, the final score in this one. The Celtics at first spurting out to a big lead and then holding off a furious Indiana rally at the end.
Have defeated the Indiana Pacers 124-121. They won it in 5.
It turned out to be a one-point game. It was just typically a great 5th game, final game for both teams. And Indiana can feel proud because they went into the Den, Boston Garden, and they almost pulled one off, and it would have been a great, great win for them. And still, it's one of those situations where teams like Indiana, they can be canonized when they lose, but it's a character builder, and it propels them into next season.
Person had 32. Bird had 32 with 7 assists and 9 rebounds, and afterwards, they each had some comments. Let's listen in.
You know, once they cut it down to 7 points, I got back in there, I think, or 9 points, and, you know, everybody was a little rattled at that time. So I think if I didn't come out, we would have won by a big margin.
With a chance to win at the end, I had, you know, so situations where if you got a chance to end it on one shot, you end it, and I went for it, and I missed it. And I didn't want to go in overtime here, so I took the shot. And if I had to do it all again, I'd take that same shot. Probably make it next time.
I've known Chuck for a while, and we always had run-ins, but it always seems like I get the last word.
Quick thought on Larry Legend here?
Just a great example of a player one time showing again how you just dig down, reach down, give everything you have, and come up with that kind of performance. And, you know, he planted those feet again. He stood firm, and he made a point about who he was, and he did get the final word in on Chuck Person. And maybe that's a lesson to Chuck.
About 1981 at the Lakers, Bird had 36 points, 21 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals, 5 blocks.
30 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, 9 steals through the first 3 quarters. 47 points, 14 rebounds, 11 assists. He got bored and took 7 left-handed shots late in this game. Check out the lefty hook.
Boston Garden was an oven. Temperature inside at 97 degrees, and Larry went for 34 and 17.
He doesn't even take his warm-up jacket off, and he just drops triples.
Smacks his head on the floor while diving for a loose ball. Later made a dramatic return to go for 32, 9, and 7. No big deal.
Bird, triple-double, 29 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists to win his last ring. One of the all-time finals performances. Meek in this one had 47 points in the Game 7 Eastern Conference Finals in '88. And Bird scored 20 in the fourth quarter.
Lit up the Hawks for 60. His best shot was a 3 that didn't count because of a foul. But even the Hawks bench had to respect what he did.
Larry Bird is the greatest forward of all time. I love Larry Bird, dramatic impact on my life. He's the man who got Jalen Rose a lot of money in Indiana.
You know, some of the best games that I played in were actually when Larry returned to play against the Celtics.
Played him in crunch time in the finals, turned his career around.
3 Eastern Conference Finals, the only trip that the Pacers have taken to the NBA Finals. Larry Bird was the head coach. I used to always write LB33 on the floor in a marker.
And Dirk, what he did to big men that you can shoot outside and shoot three-pointers there. Can you think of anybody else?
I would put Bird at the table before Dirk, because Magic is the one that made us want to play point guard. We had to watch it, and Bird is the first big man we saw shoot threes.
Okay.
There'd be no Dirk if it weren't for Bird. So Bird definitely, Dirk definitely took it to the next level. Not talking about Dirk in any way bad at all, but Dirk is not Bird. And if Bird could have shot 8 threes a game, we looked at his Bird shot like a 3.5 a game. And so, and if Bird came down on the break, even though he wasn't the most athletic, he had to fill the wings and lay it up because they didn't want him going to the corner because spacing wasn't like that. So he didn't have those opportunities, but we saw him shoot threes. We saw him win a three-point contest with his shooting shirt on and hold the finger up. So Bird is the one that started that.
One of the great players, I had the opportunity to play against. A lot of respect for him as a competitor.
There will never, ever, ever be another Larry Bird.
He didn't impress me no more than any white guy I've ever seen play before.
Larry Bird was the truth.
I'm thinking, oh, he's slow, he can't get off a shot. He's not that strong. This is gonna be a layup.
Larry Bird was the truth.
I think that you would say that most black players at the time were racist, in the sense that we did not think that you could find a white guy who could play better than any black guy.
Larry Bird was the truth.
Bam, knocks down a jump shot. Okay, maybe that was luck. Gets the ball again. Bam, knocks down another jump shot.
Larry Bird was the truth.
Now I'm thinking like, okay, hey, you know what? I'm gonna D this guy up. I'm gonna show him his life. 20 feet away, bam. 25 feet away, bam. My mind just goes something. Damn, this white guy can play.
Larry Bird was the truth.
But as an all-around basketball player, as a leader, and especially as a clutch shooting difference maker, I'm all about Larry Bird. He was a bad boy.
Larry Bird was the truth.
See, most guys talk trash and talk stuff and can't back it up.
It was blowing my mind because he's dominating Jack Givens, player of the year in college basketball. Larry Bird is eating him alive.
Larry Bird was the truth.
But Mr. Bird, you know you can back your trash talking up.
Larry Bird was the truth.
This guy got game.
Larry Bird was the truth.
I couldn't wait to call home to tell my boys, man, this dude named Larry Bird is for real. This is the baddest white dude I've ever seen in my life.
Larry Bird was the truth.
The younger generation needs to go back in YouTube, man. Some of the stuff that kid did, man, I shouldn't say kid, that man did. It was a bad boy.
Larry Bird was the truth.
He starts lighting up Charles Barkley again. He's lighting up Rick Mahorn. Then he's lighting up Arm McGillian, right? And the coach comes down to the bench. You got nobody else to put in the game. And he looks at me, and I start looking into the stands with the fans. I wouldn't give no eye contact to Jimmy Lyon and the coach. And I'm like, please, don't put me back in there with that white guy. Please, whatever you do. It was the first time in my life I was ever scared to be go into a basketball game.
Larry Bird was the truth.
Bird was the best of all time.
Larry Bird was the truth.
Who dominated?
Larry.
That guy dominated.
That's why he's one of the greatest players ever played.
Larry Bird was the truth.
People all used to always talking about that he can't jump, he can't do this, he can't do that. And, a lot of my friends was like that, So, I got to the league. I called all my friends back up. I said, all that trash that you were talking, you need to squash all that. This man is great. He can, whatever you were saying for a man who can't jump, he's demolishing everybody.
Bird was a bad somebody.
If I said you could have LeBron for 10 years or Larry Bird for 10 years.
Larry.